Have you ever started a workout plan, super excited to get going, and you're consistent for a week or two, and then you miss a day, and maybe you get back to it, and then you miss a couple more days, and suddenly you realize that you can't tell yourself the last time that you got that workout done? Turns out motivation is a liar, and it is flaky as hell. But there are 3 things that you can do to really help keep your momentum, your excitement, and build the systems to keep you on that plan. If you're new here, I'm Stevie, the sword wielding, page turning Finnish bookworm, and this was me. I have started and stopped every workout program in the book, taking days off and then trying to shove 3 days worth of workouts into the same day, which, if you know anything about exercise, is not how you should do that. They are not designed for that. And then I had someone ask me what I was training for. And I'm not sure that they expected to say surviving the zombie apocalypse, but that's the answer that they got. And that shifted my workouts from just things I was doing to check it off my list to things that I was excited to do and sometimes did longer than I had originally planned because I was so excited about the training that I was doing. If you want to get consistent with your training, be excited to do it, and show up every day, these are the 3 things that you can do to start working towards that consistency. The first thing you can do is make sure that your plan is personalized to you. If you are, for example, training to be a barrel racer, as one of my clients was, doing traditional workouts are probably not going to help you a lot because they're taking out of your training time with your horse, and they are not necessarily working the muscle groups that you need for that. So if you are not training to lift a 1 rep max as a bodybuilder, training like that might not be what excites you. If you are training to wield a sword, again, lifting heavy weights aren't going to help you a whole lot because it's all about muscular endurance versus strength. What that means for you is to think about what are you training for, and it might not be the zombie apocalypse, but think about it. If you're training for a 5K, you need to be running and doing maybe some stretching and weight specific to runners. If you're training for riding a horse or a dragon or a griffin or whatever mythological creature that you would like to ride into battle, those static holds are going to be really important, as is grip strength. Same thing with sword fighting, grip strength workouts. Any kind of movement that is swinging your arms or building the muscles that help you hold that sword up. So what are you training for? Once you've decided what it is that you're training for, the next thing to do is to personalize that to your skill level. If you are training for sword fighting and you have never picked up a sword or any kind of swingable tool, starting with the heaviest weight or even a real sword is not what you want to start with. That might just be learning the movements, doing some arm circles, or even just doing pushes and swings with a kettlebell at a lighter weight or a mace at a lighter weight. Don't be like me. I started my mace training with a 10-pound weight, tried to do a 360, which is an advanced move, and almost took out a wall in my house. And then watched some training videos from people who were using that tool. And the first thing they said was, don't get cocky. You want to start with 5 to 7 pounds. And I was like, too late. I already got cocky and we only have the 10-pound mace. So now that we're looking at our skill levels, the first thing to do is evaluate where you're at. And instead of putting a hole in your wall or burning yourself out on a 10-mile run when you've never run a day in your life, start simple, start building it up so that you can start on dialing it back, which could just be starting by walking a mile or getting your steps up to 10,000. Or again, using a kettlebell or a lighter weight, or even just body weight movements to make sure your form is correct before you start adding weight to that. The last thing is probably the most important. Remember when I told you that I would skip 3 days in a row and just pack them all into a single day? Your plan may say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but if you get sick, if you're not feeling good, don't just push them all together. Just continue in the chronological order of what they are. You will need sick days. You will have days where that workout maybe pushed you a little harder, or your nutrition and hydration were off and you're really sore. Pushing your body at that point is going to make it more likely that you're injured and then put you out for longer. So learning to take those rest days is super important because we are training for life and to survive worlds, not for a one-day event. And if you're injured, you're not going to get out of there alive anyway. What that means is when we're learning to listen to our body, sometimes we're going to have to take days off. And a lot of times, like, that can be a mental shift. And this last one is really about the mental mindset around your training, where, just like life, sometimes things get thrown at you and you have to move things around, and breaking the mindset of I failed because I didn't do it versus it's okay, just move some things around and I'll get there when I get there. I assume you're finally here to stick to your fitness routine without white knuckling your way through workouts that you don't enjoy. If this sounds like you, hit that subscribe button. I will have more videos coming out that help you get from where you're at to where you're going.